Welcome back to the Relatable Black Girl, where I'm your host, Simone. And on this episode, I want to talk about living a peaceful life slash living alone. I feel like a lot of people think that living a peaceful life means a boring life or that your life is boring. But to be honest, I do all of the same things that I did before. I'm just more cautious about who's going to be there, what the environment is like, what type of crowd might this event attract. I'm just more conscious. And I hate when people are like, why does it matter who's there? It matters. It matters to me because depending on who's there, I might not be there, okay? And I'm so protective of my peace because my peace is so personal. When you go through certain things in your life and so much drama and chaos and just toxic family members, toxic boyfriends, toxic friends, you are overwhelmed, you're exhausted, and you just want peace. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight, you know? And even when I see other people argue or fight, sometimes, you know what I'm saying, it'll be a little tea. You might hear the tea, you might kiki a little bit, but it's still like so much levels to that. Like the show Baddies, on Zeus Network. Oh my God, you guys. When the show was them like fighting each other and they could like barely fight, nobody left with any scratches or really any real bruises, just really pulling each other wigs off. It was like a key for me. Oh my God, you guys, that show is so brutal to me now. I'm like, no. No, I don't like this. I liked it better when it was just a little hair pulling, the girls tussling a little bit. A lot of them couldn't really fight at all. I like that. Now that they're really like fighters and they're really like knocking each other's noodles out of their head, I don't like it at all, y'all. So, the most drama I get right now in my life is reality TV, some Netflix, some Hulu. That's all the drama I need. I got some friends that I don't talk to on a daily basis, but they'll call me sometimes when they're having problems with their other friends, and I try to be as positive as possible and support my friend, but at the same time stay neutral because I don't know those other people. But that's the most drama I have in my life. That's all I need. I don't need no more drama, you guys. I used to always feel like people are so fake when things are being said or happening and they're not saying how they really feel, or they dislike somebody but they still just like be cordial with them. I always like, that's so fake, that's so phony. But now I realize they are just protecting their peace. They are just protecting their peace. Because me personally, I will be cordial with every and anybody to protect my peace. Like, it's not that deep to me. It's not that serious. I got more important things to worry about. It feels good to be in a peaceful place. It feels good to just like be giving people compliments and be loving and be caring and like have that same energy. Like, it feels so good to have people like around you that pour into you and that are encouraging and that support the things that you like to do. That's such an amazing feeling. I would not trade it for the world, you guys. I am so cautious about where I go, and I know anything can happen to you anywhere, but in certain situations, it's less likely for certain things to happen just because if the police is just closer or faster to come. People know it's cameras around and they can't get away with certain behaviors. And that's what I like. I love JT. I love JT Down. But it's like I would never go to one of her concerts because they're at clubs. And I feel like they're overcrowded. I would have to pay like a whole lot of money to get a section just to have like my own designated area, versus I flew to Chicago and I saw Megan Thee Stallion a couple of weeks ago and I had my own seat because it's at a theater and it's lots of security and it's lots of police officers around. So I just feel more safe, and then I just have my own designated space. It's like I do all the same things but just elevated, just more elevated, and honestly, it's more enjoyable, you know? And I'm so much more open minded because before all I cared about was like alcohol, drama, turn up, he said, she said, and like now that my life is peaceful, I'm like, I want to go on a hot air balloon ride, you know? I want to go vacation and go to like those little forests that they be having where like the monkeys be like jumping all over you. I feel like a lot of the things that I want to do now, I was not thinking about those things when my life was drama filled. And I cared so much about how I was perceived, but differently now. Like I care about how I'm perceived now, but in a different way. Like makeup was more important to me. Like makeup and my hair and dressing a certain way to like, oh, let me show off like my curves that I do have, my little curves. Where now I feel like I dress different. The way I want to present myself is different. And I really don't care how people perceive it, you know? I'm not focused on like, oh, I got to be the baddest bitch. I got to be a bad bitch. I'm like, no, I think I actually want to be a good woman. Like, I think I want to be a good woman instead. Like, I'm not worried about trying to outdo or out show someone or prove to someone like, hey, I get money, or I don't care about those things anymore when it comes down to how people perceive me. Honestly, I really don't care how people perceive me. I am still going to show up as myself in whatever that feels like in that moment. If that means doing my makeup and wearing a bust down middle part, if that means some boho knotless, if that means sweats, if that means heels, whatever that means for me that day, that moment, whatever I'm in the mood for, I am going to show up as me, and I'm not letting anybody stop that. You are allowed to be whoever you want to be, and you're allowed to change your mind at any moment. At any moment, you can be like, hey, this is not for me anymore. And you don't owe anybody anything, not an exclamation, not anything. I feel so aligned, you know. I wouldn't say that I feel like 100% like aligned with who I want to be, because I don't feel like I'm at a place where I feel like I am who I want to be in life. But I feel like I'm taking steps to get there. And I feel like I am more aware of what I want out of life. And it's so much easier for me to separate myself from people no matter how long I've been knowing them, no matter if I don't have anybody else to lean on. Because I feel like a lot of the times we trade one toxic person for another, whether it's friendships or relationships. We're just trading it in for a different type of toxic behavior. I'm so tired of this toxic behavior. Well, at least this person doesn't do that, but they're still toxic, so it doesn't matter, you know? Living alone has led me to a lot of self discovery. Living alone in a different city than where I'm from has led me to a lot of self discovery, because before I'm always around people. I always had people around me if I wanted to go do this or I wanted to go do that. I never had to do anything alone. And when I came down here, I was a little bit afraid to do things alone. I was afraid to go to the mall by myself or go to the stores by myself. And now, girl, I take myself out on dates. I will go out to breakfast and go out to eat alone. I will go to the movies alone. I go to the stores alone. And I don't have that like dependency on friends and family like I used to. And living alone can be boring, especially since I have chosen not to like date. Like, so it's boring. You're going to think of ways to like entertain yourself. So that's why I wanted to start this podcast. That's why I started reading books, you guys. I learned how to crochet. I started doing puzzles and it was the complete opposite. I did a 400-piece puzzle and I thought I was going to be like, oh, so frustrated by it. Oh my God, you guys. I was doing that puzzle for like 3 hours and didn't even realize 3 hours had even passed. And when I tell you my mind was just clear and I was just focused and just in the moment and present, and love that for me. And crocheting is such a good hobby to have, you guys. I will literally watch TV and crochet, and I honestly feel like it helps me focus more on what I'm watching. Like I'm more attentive to what I'm watching, and whatever crochet pattern I'm doing is probably just a repetitive pattern. So it's like easy for me to just keep doing this repetitive thing and I'm not thinking about my phone. I'm really into what I'm watching and love that for me too. So, living alone, it can be boring, but it has led to a lot of self discovery. I'm so much better at cooking. My meal prep, I had to send everybody a picture of my meal prep. My moms, my sisters, my friends. I had to let them know, like, look, your girl is getting better. Your girl is getting better. I just found a whole bunch of recipes that I want to try. I bought new Tupperware set. Everything's glass. Um, I want to be a pescatarian. I had 1 pack of chicken left in the refrigerator, so I cooked and I'm literally finishing that off. I have like a pasta meal prep left and 2 salads. Oh, and then I have some turkey bacon. And then after that, pescatarian. I really want to stop eating meat and then I also want to try being vegan. And I'm doing it because I feel like a lot of the meat is just so unhealthy with the way that it's handled and there's probiotics and all this stuff that people are, oh, you got to be cautious of this, you got to be cautious of that. And it seems like it's being the same with fruit and vegetables as well. So I'm going to be cautious about where I buy that from too, you guys, because I heard like a recall on cucumbers and I'm like, a cucumber? What's going on? Like, don't they just grow from the ground? Isn't this organic? But apparently, everything is not made the same. And you guys, I'm going to be cautious about where I'm getting my products from. But I just want to eat healthier. I want to see if it changes like my energy level, if it helps with my skin. Like, that's why I'm doing it. I wish I could give some heartfelt, like, oh, it's about the animals. But to be honest, you guys, to be honest, I care about the animals a lot, but I cannot make other people care about things that they don't care about. And I still feel like if you care about the animals and that's why you're doing it, I feel like that's a good thing. But do not get mad at other people for doing what they want to do. I'm not going to get mad at anybody for choosing to eat animals. Animals eat other animals. It is a circle of life. I think that the way these animals are treated should be more humane. That's what I do feel. But you guys, living alone can lead to a lot of self discovery, new hobbies, more confidence. I am so much more confident, and I had to work on that. I realized that part of the reason why I was afraid to go do things by myself was because I was so self conscious of what people might think about me, like, And I started to realize that a lot of people are doing things alone. Like, I went to the movies and there was a lot of other women there by themselves. I went to go see Bad Boys 4. You guys, that movie is hilarious. Go see it. It's so funny from beginning to end. And for me, living a peaceful life is important. For me, living alone and having my own space is important. I'm Simone. This is the Relatable Black Girl. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys next time.